Hello, NOPeep fans and NOPeeps out there. We are so glad that you are here with us today. This is a Real Talk Tuesday, and today we are going to talk about 7 ways to overcome major setbacks. It is a little bit loud here, and I have 3 camera batteries that are dead because that's the kind of luck that I've had recently. And so you guys, I'm coming to you on my phone today. If it's a little bit louder than normal, that's why. Welcome back to No Ordinary Path. I am Kristen. My husband John is a travel nurse, and we have 3 kids and a dog, and we travel in Wendy back here. She is a 37-foot travel trailer, and we are 8 contracts in. A little over 2 years on the road so far. We've been having some serious downers recently, and so today I wanted to talk about tools that you can have in your back pocket to handle setbacks. And this is going to apply for RVing, it's going to apply for whatever the unordinary path is that you are trying to accomplish in your life. You are likely going to come across a setback at some point in your journey, and that setback can either set you so far back that you just decide that that path isn't worth it, or you get up, you brush off, you keep your mind focused on the why you are doing it, and you push forward. This is things that we used this week when we were going through a major setback, and I won't lie, there was a part of us that at one point we were like, is this even worth it? Like, what are we even doing? Is this worth it? These are not in any particular order, but I hope that you watch to the end, to the last one, because the last one is something that's very near and dear to our heart and something that we feel is very important and that we want to share with you. The first one is have a savings account, have an emergency fund. You know, if you follow, some people follow Dave Ramsey's plan. We have done that in the past. We haven't been so great about it recently. But he always talks about the importance of having an emergency fund, and you start out with $1,000 and then you build it from there, and you build up that emergency fund so that you can use it when you have major financial setbacks. And we are very fortunate that we had a large sum of money in our emergency fund, essentially. As you know, we were looking for land, and so we had this money that was set aside for land, but it was very helpful to have it in this situation because we ended up spending a very large sum of money to get us out of the setback. So that's the first thing. And also just being mindful of your lifestyle, and especially if you are doing RVing as your non-ordinary path, then you'll want to make sure that you are saving money where you can. You know, like we purchased our rig in cash, and we try to keep our spending down in places that we stay so that we can maximize how much money that we save. And John has a job now that allows him to save more money than we've ever been able to save, so we have been diligently trying to put money away. And although we are very sad that we had to dip into our nest egg, we are very, very thankful that it was there to dip into. The second thing is to always have a backup plan, and for us with RVing, a really good backup to have is a second vehicle. I know that's not possible for everybody, but for us, having that second vehicle has totally saved our rear ends in this situation, because we were down to the 1 vehicle for 2 of the 3 weeks that we were dealing with issues with our truck. So we still had a way for John to get to work, and I would get up early and take him to work, and then I would come back home, and then I would still have a vehicle during the day, and then the kids and I would go pick him up from work. It meant early mornings, but we were able to get by with just the 1 vehicle. So for us, it's kind of circumstantial. Like, we were going to have 2 vehicles anyways, but it was really nice to have a backup vehicle. And I guess the point I'm making is beside that, just try to think of some things that might happen, and then have backup plans. You know, always have kind of a plan. Number 3, again, this is not in order. I might have put this as number 1, but is have a support network, whether that's family or friends. For us in this past week, it was totally just, I mean, a blessing, and by God's grace that my parents were in town. They were extremely helpful in helping me keep my sanity, and my dad helped with our negotiations and stuff like that, and really more moral support than anything. But having that family that you could talk to about what's going on, somebody that you completely trust, that you trust their advice, and you can get encouragement from them. And oh God, that was a tire pop, not a gunshot. Okay, support system. Thank you guys so much to all of my YouTube friends and the NO peeps, you guys. We really appreciate your prayers. There were so many of you guys that have been praying for us through this whole truck situation, and we really, really appreciate it. And we do consider you guys as part of our support system. And then also a special thank you to Jeremy Bagmary. He's one of our friends. He is a diesel mechanic, and we've been on the phone with him many times, and it was very helpful to have someone that we know and trust help us through the situations. Number 4 is to step away. When you are faced with something huge, and it can totally fry your brain, and so sometimes stepping away, getting outside, and doing something that doesn't involve it at all is exactly what you need to clear your brain a little bit. So for us, we went on a bike ride, we've been on a hike. Over the last 3 weeks, we have done several things to try to clear our brains a little bit. Number 5 is to keep a cool head. I am not very good at this, but luckily my husband is very good at this. John can turn on what we call the nurse mode and problem solve with a level head like nobody else that I know. And it's really important when you are face to face with an obstacle that you kind of try to keep your cool and not go down the rabbit hole, not go down the spiral like I tend to do. And it's way easier said than done, because you guys, I spiral. I get, my brain, like, it legitimately shuts down and I can't think about anything when I get really, really stressed out. So it's important to try to maintain a clear head and do whatever you need to do to take care of yourself so that you can keep thinking clearly. And luckily for me, John is very good at that, and he kind of glues our family together when we're faced with obstacles. Number 6, find joy in the process. What in the actual world? How can you find joy when you are so stinking stressed out? One thing that we do is we try very hard to always think of the positive things that are happening, even in the midst of all the negative stuff. So we often have conversations about, okay, this sucks. What are we thankful for? Every day, take a minute and talk, verbally say it out loud to your family, or whoever's near you. Things that you are still grateful for. You know, like, man, that sucks. Our truck is really broken and it's going to cost us a lot of money. But you know what? All of us are healthy. We are still here in a beautiful place. We are still able to get out and go explore places. It is going to take out of our nest egg, but we still have money left over. We can afford to pay for it. There's a lot of things to still be grateful for. And so focusing on the things that still bring you joy when you start to spiral will really help pull you back in and help you get past those setbacks. The last thing, number 7, which is kind of funny, I chose number 7, but it's prayer. Prayer for us has been one of the most important things for us to get over any kind of setback, but especially this one. And in our home church, they are going through Nehemiah and they're doing a prayer sermon series. And so they had encouraged us, like before this even happened, they had encouraged people to set an alarm on their phones for the 3s. You know, when you wake up in the morning, if you're early bird, you start at 6. If you're not an early bird like me, you start at 9. So 9, noon, 3, 6, 9. You set an alarm for each time, and then you just take a minute when the alarm goes off. You just take it can be very, very, very short. It doesn't have to be like a really long, lengthy thing, but it's a moment where you pause and you invite God back into your situation. And for us, we've been doing this, and at first I was like, I'm never gonna, the alarm's gonna go off and I'm just gonna shut my phone off, because that's how I am with everything. I hit the snooze on everything. But for whatever reason, I didn't hit snooze on all these alarms. And even the kids are getting in on it now. My phone will go off and Chloe will say, it's prayer time. And everyone stops, and it's very brief, but it's just a chance for us to bring Jesus back into our situation and acknowledge that everything is going to be okay, that he turns everything for good, and we're going to be fine. We're going to get through this, and we have so much to be grateful for, even in the midst of all of this. So prayer has been a really important part of this. And today, I was rushing around in the RV this morning. The kids, we finally got to our, campground, and Nanny and Papa are right next to us. And so the kids were like so excited to go see Nanny and Papa this morning. And I said, I am too, of course. But I was like, okay, we have to get school done. We have to get school done first, okay? Because I don't want to we've already missed some school days in the midst of all of this figuring stuff out. And I really want to stay somewhat on track. And so I said, we got to get school done. And the kids were just like rushing through everything, trying to get their school done and just get out of the rig. And they finally got done, and they finally went outside, and then they wanted to get their bikes off the van, and nothing was fast enough for them. And all morning, I had to, I was helping each child do their school, and then I'm frantically looking around for the bike pump. There's a flat tire. We're trying to get things ready, and then the keys for the lock to get the keys off, or to get the bikes off of the van. And there's just so many things that I have to do that the kids don't realize that I'm doing in the background. And so all they can see is like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And so many times I've had to remind them, like, be patient. Everything I'm doing right now is for you. Everything I'm doing right now is for your good. It is so that we can go on a bike ride and go to the pool and all this stuff. Everything I'm working on right now is for your good. And I had this moment where I was like, okay, message received. We've been going through this setback, and we're impatiently waiting for an outcome. And all the time, God's going, I've got this. I'm working on it. I'm working on the solution for you. Be patient. Everything I'm doing right now is for your good. Just wanted to share that because I felt like that was an important message that we have been learning through this process of a setback. And so praying and letting God come into our situation and realizing that it's going to be okay and it's going to turn out fine. We are Christians, and we believe in Jesus Christ, and we believe that he directs our paths, and we invite him into our life to direct what we're doing and where we're going and all the things that happen in between. So when you are faced with setbacks, I hope that some of these things are some tools you can put in your toolbox to help you overcome those setbacks. Sometimes setbacks do take us in a different direction altogether, but when that happens, there's usually another path to take. And in our case, we are still on the same path. We are still RVing, we're still out here, and we can't wait to share our story of how everything turned out this weekend, so tune in for that. Thank you guys for watching. Have a fabulous week. I am going to go take my impatient children.
See you next time. Bye-bye.
I'm going to go take my children to the pool because they have been waiting a long time, right?
Yes.
A long time.
Long.
All right.
Long time. Bye.